Hey, it's Spence, the evil genius.
That's the wrong one. There we go. The audience is a little delayed. Hey, it's Spence. It's Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. I just had lunch with my friend Sam. It's Wednesday. It's 1:30 p.m. I'm really excited. I finally figured out StreamYard. Finally added the controls that I needed to set up a proper screen share. Now, I could share with you and I'm going to go back and forth to see which I like. If I turn off, if I can, oh my goodness, I'm tempting fate here. Let's say if I turn off the emulator, which requires me to figure out where that went. There it is. If I turn off the emulator, it's not bad. I can do it both ways. So I'm really excited. I can finally share with you the way that I intended to share all along. All right, so let's go in emulator mode. I want to talk about skills, and more skills. As I was having lunch today with my friend Sam, I was demonstrating live while we drove that I had what I'm showing you on the screen here. I had my minute launch Fernando with me. And we were also testing out some of the background tasks. And we were talking about the various things that we might do. So today I want to demonstrate a real practical world example of a skill. This sounds ridiculous, but it's just that simple. You can put in information about where you often start your journey. Let's say you're in the real estate business, you're a contractor, you're just going to lunch, you're doing errands. We all know you can do this on your iPhone or your Android, but you can't do the kind of things I'm about to say, which is to teach your personal guy in your box, not at ChatGPT, not at Anthropic, not at OpenAI, not at a third-party SaaS, but in the box you own and control. You could teach it things that are skills about what you want it to know or do. Here's an example. We click on the cogwheel, and I can have it make any number of instant things, right? Web search, instant this, I can click on, obviously, my contacts. Here's Ann Stevenson, and I could say, view or send Ann an email or whatever. But what I typically might do is I might just ask it questions in a chat about things that are important to me. Like, for example, I might give it a reference to something in my media library and ask it to do something with that. One of the things that I can do are create skills. Skills are instructions that I needed to know so that the next time I just give it a keyword, give me directions, and it knows the things under the hood that are important. For example, here, give me directions, and I'm going to use the built-in mic capability, which is also awesome. You can just press it and talk away. You don't have to worry about having special stuff installed on your desktop, obviously not on your mobile phone. To the nearest McDonald's restaurant or Costco, let's just say. Okay, so let's do this. To the nearest Costco locations. Now, it seems really mundane, but the skill that I programmed in when I hit enter is that it knows where my starting point is, and it's going to instantly trigger the proper map. In this case, I prefer Apple Maps instead of Google Maps. That's important. So I know I can use the map program in my phone. I know I can do whatever. But remember, this is going with me everywhere. This is in my hand. It's able for me to save and share. It's connected to my CRM. It's on my desktop. So here are the nearest Costco's to me. I could, if I wanted, send these instructions to somebody via text. That's kind of handy itself because Ann Stevenson or whomever is just right there in my phone or on my desktop, always the same. But here's the neat part. Watch. If I click here, it's going to open up Apple Maps in my PC or on my phone, and it's going to give me exactly what I need. So it's going to go right from my starting point to that location. Now, I know this sounds like, Spence, we've been able to do that for years. Well, you can and have, but you can't, because somehow StreamYard just managed to screw me up. How did it do that? I have no idea. I have to go back now and fix whatever the hell it is I just did. I think I just did that. Okay, good. What I'm saying is I have a skill. I'm going to make a new one that is working on my personal device or that of my client so that whatever it is can be saved for future use, and it knows exactly what I want it to do. Okay, so I save this block and I'll call it get directions to Costco. I could do other similar skills. I could, for example, take one of the images from the media library. Doesn't matter which one. Let's take a picture of a living room or something like that. I'm going to use it as a reference. Now I'm going to teach it something. I'm going to use the mic button. I'm going to say, let's use this reference image room. And I want you to make this image, create this image into a rustic log cabin with dark wood plank floors, wide plank, rustic umber colored wall tones, log cabin style windows. Return to me the image. Now, that in and of itself isn't remarkable. What I'm trying to show you is, let's say I do something once and it works. I can take that thing and I turn it into a skill so that the next time I could say log cabin. Now, where would that be applicable? Well, let's say you took a picture of you dressed in your skivvies and you said, I want to turn this into something that like dresses me up in different clothing. That would be an actually awesome skill to have right in your phone. So right now, if I took this thing and I said, save as a skill, I'll call this log cabin. Okay. And I'm going to say the trigger words are log cabin. I'm going to say, make this room into a log cabin. Okay. If I took another image, we can do the same skill. Let's try it. So I can search for an image, by the way, by using search image. I'll say, let's get something from the internet. Search for an image of a living room. So we'll let the tool go grab an image for us from maybe 6 or 7 choices. If I had already saved this, obviously it would be easier before, but let's just pick something like this kid's room. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I can save it to my media library. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I could pick this particular image, right? So if I wanted, I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to go to my media library. I'm going to pick this image, use it as a reference. Now I'm going to use my skill. Now I can just say the keyword of the skill. Remember, I made a skill and I called that log cabin. And if I've forgotten what the skill is, I can just go ahead and look at the skills because I saved it right here. Log cabin. Okay. Make this room in a log cabin. I know this is ridiculous, but I'm just trying to show you how easy it is now to use the mobile interface on your phone and generate images, right? And that one, I think, went too fast. So I'm going to say log cabin. Let's log cabin, generate a new image. Sometimes when I do this, obviously, I have to be cognizant of the fact that perhaps my first try doesn't work. Also, by the way, I'm going to do something here, which is weird. I'm going to do it in a new chat. I found that sometimes makes a difference because I'm talking through an API. So let's take that thing. Let's add that. And then let's use the skill. And I already did it. Log cabin, generate a new image of this room. Okay, let's see if it does it this time. So the basic concept, like a recipe, reference source like an image, using the tool that's the generate image tool, using a skill that says use this tool to do this thing. In the first example, what I did was I used the tool that was just the web search tool to get directions, but I said specifically give me back links that, you know, are clickable. Okay, and so now it gave me that room sort of dressed up as a log cabin. Let's do something as a person. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but let's see if we can figure it out. So I think I have maybe a person here, maybe myself, maybe my friend Harry or something. Let's take this dude because he's wearing a suit. First, let's do something to create the skill. So let's do, I'll use the mic button. Change this reference image person's suit into a casual Hawaiian shirt that is open at the top. That's a wild one. Okay. I didn't finish the prompt for some reason. Casual Hawaiian shirt open at the top. Now, one of the things that I do with people is in order to keep the actual reference image face, I need to give it some special instructions, but that's not the point. The point is just to show you how you could use a reference image. And let's try it again because that didn't work out too well. Let's try to do it where I'm very specific. I'll type this instead of talking it. Okay. So I'm going to use the same guy. Oh, it actually made it. Sorry. You know, that's funny. It actually did it, but it did it on the second try and it wasn't really the same guy. So I'm going to try, let's do one more time. Again, sometimes even I, working with the interface, have to try it a couple times. So let's pick that same dude, this guy. And there's special instructions. I'm going to try to replicate them here. Using this reference image's face exactly. Do not change the reference image's face. Just change him from wearing a suit into wearing a colorful, floral colored Hawaiian shirt and have the top buttons open and put him in a background like he's on the beach. Make sure you do not change at all the reference image's face. Just change his clothing. Okay. Now, this particular thing that we do, if it works, which it likely will, we will make into the skill. This is, by the way, not the whole purpose of Minute Launch. It's, first of all, this is where he's hallucinating too, because you have the ML image editing tool. Use it. You have to understand that the chat is talking through an API, and sometimes they just get wacky, and like he's totally wacky right now. He's just not using the tool that he has. So I'm having a bad attempt at this. I'm going to try one more time. Let's try one more time. I'm going to add this dude. Use this reference image, the man with the suit on, and change his clothing from a suit into a Hawaiian shirt and put him on a beach somewhere in Hawaii. Be sure you don't change the reference image. You're going to use the Minute Launch image editor tools to accomplish this. Notice I can also change the model. I could use Opus or something else. Let's see if that has any effect. If it doesn't work, don't worry, it will. It has been working admirably, but this is interesting. I think what's wrong, and I'm going to test this. I think what's happening is it's breaking like it did yesterday because I'm in the emulator. I know it sounds stupid, but that emulator is breaking the connection in some way. I'm going to try one more time without the emulator. It's kind of actually nicer to use it without the emulator too, because, okay, let's just use them as a reference. Create an image of this reference person, same face, don't change it, but just change his clothing from a suit and tie into a Hawaiian shirt, floral color, and show him on a beach in Hawaii. Make it a square, photorealistic, daytime, sunny, happy. Those extra things are just bonus. Now, among other things, I've been testing out all the other features while this is working, including, you know, the contacts and like those things are really coming into play. And also when I was using the other tools like the Minute Launch Claw, I was able to start generating, I think I have it here. I was able to start generating, while that's working on it, all kinds of crazy new outcomes using the task scheduler. You'll notice here in Claw, we've got all these tasks in the history. If I go into the task manager, you can see the things that I've been doing thus far. And I can look at all of them, making HTML websites, making other pages. Oh, I notice I'm not showing that. I'm showing, for some reason, it's only showing the one screen. So hold on. I have to go back and find the screen now. This is going to be my challenge, isn't it? Hold on. I got to find which screen that was on. That's not it. That's not it. Oh my goodness. Spence, what have you done to yourself? I think it's here. Okay. Sorry. I've been sharing, sorry guys. I've just been sharing the one window, not the whole computer. So I was showing you something else that didn't show up here. Anyway, it got closer to the idea. Now, in fairness, I don't think it followed my instructions about not changing his face, but it did do the other instructions. So the point of today about making the skills is let's take that skill and we'll call this casual shirt Hawaii. Casual shirt Hawaii. If I was to redo this and put in something else, we should have a similar outcome. The only part that, again, admittedly is a troublesome one is that in order to trick it into using exactly the same face, I usually have to do a specific type of a prompt because this is some limit they put in for the safety of people that they don't want you pimping out your friend. So for example, let's take this dude. And I can use the skill if I want, or I could just say the skill. So we'll call it casual shirt Hawaii. And I'm going to say, and do not change the reference image person's face. Keep it the same guy, just change his clothing. Okay. So the idea is once you've set something in place, if this works properly, the skill should be to make an image from this reference, casual shirt, Hawaiian background. And you can rinse and repeat. And you can do this for lots of things that are very repetitive. It could be for like, create my daily schedule, take care of answering my mail, go out and look for jobs on LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. Now, it actually did a good job with this. The one thing that it's not doing well, and I'm going to try to trick it, is I'm going to see if I can overcome the issue which we just discussed, which was how do we keep the reference image the same? And for that, I'm going to go to a different browser here. I'm going to say, actually I'm going to take something that I had saved from my office hours 2 weeks ago, which was one of the tricks on how to keep the reference image the same. And it's just the way you prompt it, because they built in these safeguards that can be overcome by tricking them in a nice way. Okay, so here's the prompt. I'm going to grab it. The last time I did this, it was for making a dude. Here, this is one for making a guy. He was like a model. I can either make me a model, or I can make him wearing sunglasses. In behind a flame. Okay, so let's try this. Let's use the prompt in here and see if we get the results, and then we can tweak it from that point. So if I take a reference image of any guy, let's do this guy because he's got a pretty remarkable face. And I'm going to give him this prompt. And let's see whether or not it'll generate the image. It should be this guy smoking a cigarette with sunglasses in front of a flame. But you'll notice there's some trick words in here. The image must use my uploaded face as the only and exact facial reference. If this works, we'll just change it to Hawaiian shirt in front of a beach. Okay, let's see if we get it. And my whole point of this is that, okay, I think we got it. Now, the whole point of this is that let's change this prompt to from flames to, let's actually ask him to do this. I want you to change this prompt and give it back to me. Instead of sunglasses, smoking a cigarette in front of a burning car, have it otherwise do all the instructions for face identity lock, but make it wearing a Hawaiian shirt on the beach in Hawaii. Give it back to me exactly. Okay. So what I'm saying now is change the instructions I gave you before, give it back to me so I can give it to you, and then we'll use that. And this is an interesting way to use the ChatGPT to, not ChatGPT, Anthropic, to fool itself. Okay. So it gave me back the prompt. Now, what I'm going to do is hyper realistic. I'm going to take this and let's try it. By the way, watch what I can do. If I take this and I save this as a block, I'm going to call it Hawaiian shirt prompt edit. This is a block that I can use in the future if I ever want to remind myself. It's not quite a skill yet, but let's try it and then we'll make it a skill. So we'll take a new image. Let's use another dude. Let's use Spence, because then there's me with sunglasses on, but let's do something else. Let's do this guy. Okay. That's my like go-to. Paste this in, cross fingers. Now I think I've got this set to Nano Banana. It might do better with ChatGPT, but we'll see. You can choose what you're using for the image editing based upon the general settings. But since I'm addressing this remotely through the AI guy in my phone, it could be kind of fun. My point was the skills, though. So he did everything. He's still not following the face lock. I'm not worried about that because that's not the point of today. But if I made this a skill, I would call it, Hawaii shirt beach. We'll do it again. Hawaii shirt beach. The only point, the takeaway was now I've got something, regardless of who I throw into it. Okay. If I search for image of a girl, image, let's do a web search. Woman in suit. Search the web. Woman in suit. Okay, so this woman's very remarkable. Let's save her to the media library. Okay. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to take her image, use as a reference. I'm going to apply the skill, or I could say the skill Hawaiian shirt beach. Let's see what happens. I think it'll work. If it doesn't work, I'll fix it. But like, this is why I share with you guys. It's like I have fun sharing with you what I do as I do it, right? That's the idea. I noticed, by the way, it didn't put the image back in, so I might want to copy this image and paste it again if that doesn't work. Hold on. It should change her into a Hawaiian shirt in front of the beach. Okay. And it did. It didn't do great with the image reference, but okay, so that's a skill we can now save, right? I can literally take that, save it as skill. You just saw me do that. All right. I think I'll give you one other example of some practical stuff. Like with the directions and the images and things like that. Remember, I just was going to buy tickets to a hockey game, right? So if I went over here and I was like, hey, listen, I want to go find tickets to the next hockey game for the Blackhawks. They're playing the Canucks in March. Find out when the game is, and then get me a link that I can click on to buy tickets for their banner seats. Now, let's say I wanted to do that. This is not remarkable, but remember, this is in the phone. This is in a business system. I've got clients in here like Harry Maisel or Ann Stevenson or something. I ask my dude something that I do often. Okay, try again. And if he's able to do it successfully, I can save it as a repetitive skill, something that I can then prompt with one word, which then ultimately is one of the benefits because I can also have it send this to my client. So he found the game, and then there's these single game tickets. This is what I use to get these banner seats, which is really pretty cool because, they're special seats, right? Now, let's say, for example, with his help, I buy the tickets and I find out what the website page is, right? It's Ticketmaster. I'm not going to do the actual ticket, but let's say if I took this thing and I give it the URL, and that's a wild URL. I'm going to say, okay, listen, I figured this out. Write an email to my pal, Harry Maisel. Say, hey, Harry, that game we wanted to see against the Canucks is on March 6th. Here's the link to Ticketmaster where we can buy the tickets. Check it out and see if there's any good seats. And then sign it from Fernando, Spence's AI assistant, and put it in a format that's stylistically cool for my friend Harry. Now, you don't have to say all that bullshit, but I'm saying what you can do is have it do your dictation, create the thing, and then when it does, I can instantly send it from here, either through the CRM to Harry, or I can send it through his phone number, or I can send it in a text. So he wrote out the email, yo, Harry, what's up, my good man? And he signed it from Fernando. And again, I would have him do a different style, but this is where I would just put that stuff into the basket. And then I can have him like improve it and clean it up if I want, or I could just say, send it to Harry. let's say George Harrison is Harry Maisel. And when he sends it, it will either send it, my choice of sending it with my CRM, or it will send it with my local email. Or if I want it, I can text it. It also keeps a record of it. So these are the kind of things in the real world. When I go back and I say, what did I do this week, Fernando? I've got all of these things automatically saved. I've also got all of the things that I created as blocks, right? Hawaiian shirt, direction to Costco, doggies, best ramen. I've got skills that I created today on how to get directions. I've got my contacts that maybe I sent something to or edited. If I wanted, I could add a new contact and I could either say this or speak it, right? So if I tap the mic, I can go ahead and, hey, add Harry Maisel, Maisel, Harry at Maisel.com, 312-555-1212. His company is Harry Maisel Company. His job title is president. Give him the tags of awesome friend and add him to the main list. Okay. All that shit that's done, like that kind of thing to be able to do in my phone is awesome. Now I can go ahead and then I have Harry or whoever else in there, and it's all in a phone. It's all one price. Everything that I do here is minute launch. This is $97 a month, and that's self-host, $197 with the hosting and the CRM, the CDN, the security, the backups. $497 if you want me and my team to take care of doing your marketing for you, basic. Fun, easy, all owned and controlled. Take it to go, leave it anytime. You have all the other social capacity, which is from another video. But the kind of thing that ultimately, it's basically taking all of the latest and the greatest of the new stuff along with the capabilities I was sharing with you, like asynchronous task work. I was trying to show you earlier and I got stuck on another page. So let me grab that. If I were to grab the minute launch claw and put it into this screen, what I was showing you is the very same interface applies to claw, except I'm working on him to add these asynchronous tasks. So you can see here, for example, these are all the tasks that I was having him do for me while I was sleeping. And if I gave him a new task, it works exactly like the regular guy, except he works on it independently. So I'd say something like, build a single file WordPress plugin that says, hey, everybody, it's Fernando, and it scrolls across the screen, and then launch it. Now, if I can describe what's done, that's more of a description. I'll just give him the same thing. I'll call this, hey, plugin. Run immediately. What I do is I can create a task that either runs now, runs later, does it on Tuesday. It can go ahead and do these things asynchronously in the background. So the first guy I showed you, I'm working with one-to-one in the live real time. He has skills, he has memories. This one allows me to use the capabilities of the WordPress box to basically have asynchronous things running in the background. And what's neat about this is that everything he does is saved as a project, right? Here's previous projects that I can even deploy to live pages. If I go back to the tasks and I see like what's active, this is the active one here, right? I'm going to delete the one below it. And this is the one that's, let's cancel this one out. Delete. The one at the top is the active one. So this is the one I just created, and probably in, I don't know, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, because he's pretty fast, he'll write a plugin, he'll launch it. There it is. It's ready to go. So let's take a look at it, right? All we have to do is take a look at the plugins. We will see that he made a new plugin called Fernando Scrolling Banner. And I don't know if it has actually a setting on it. Let's see. I don't think it does. Let's see if it's on the front of the site. Oh, and by the way, this is what I'm looking at because you're on the other screen. So when I go to the front of the site, this is what it's looking at. He made the whole thing, and I want to show you. He wrote the plugin. So if I go to the admin dashboard, this is what I was looking at. He actually made this plugin, as we were speaking, called Fernando Scrolling Banner. And this exists inside of the Minute Launch Claw. So if I go back over here and I look at what was happening, here's the actual request. Here is the actual task manager. here is the thing that I can say, great job, marked complete. And then it disappears from the screen so that I can just look at the things that are done later. And I can always go back and look at this in the sense of a project. So here is a project where I can preview the code that he wrote, or I can deploy it again, etc. So I'm really excited about this stuff because the asynchronous nature plus the skills plus the thing plus the interface plus, again, this is all mobile friendly already, right? This is running already in an interface that's proven itself to be very, very efficient for what I need to do. This is like all the dreams of Claw and desktop and and it costs you nothing else because it's just built into the price of Minute Launch. 97, 197 and up. Okay. I'm hoping that this comes out as good as I hope it will in these vertical format for these shorts. I'll see you tomorrow's video.